All right, we've got a win under our belt now. We just need to strong finish to the season. Should be here next year as well. Hello? Speaking? Oh, hello, Mr. Chairman. Attend the race in Brazil. Oh, great. No, that's great. Yeah, no, it would be a long way to go to be disappointed, wouldn't it? Sure you don't want to just stay in Europe, mate? Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. It is the Brazil sprint weekend this week, today I should say, and the board is coming. Now, I could have denied this, but if we have a good result, they'll be twice as happy. That could guarantee us staying on. If we have a bad result, then it doubles the disappointment and it could almost guarantee us leaving. So, the reason that I did this, I mean, the confidence is medium again. Hang on a second, that wasn't, okay, well, I wish I have minor regrets doing this now. It was low, wasn't it, after last race? So that's ticked over at some point, and, well, what we may have just done is have doubling the disappointment and putting us back to board confidence low. Anyway, my thought was if it is low, chances are, double the disappointment's not going to be terrible, but double the joy could actually save us and guarantee us next season. But now I'm, not quite so sure I've done the right thing there. But anyway, this is how things stand. We did, of course, win last time out in Mexico, which was huge. We are unlikely to catch Aston Martin, but another strong result here, and it's certainly not out of the picture. And then the drivers, I don't want us to finish 7th and 8th. We're not, again, a million miles away from the likes of, can you see behind my head here? You can, behind Alonso, Stroll, and Hamilton. Certainly Mick isn't anyway, but he'd need a couple of very strong results to be able to do that. I really do feel like our comeback from the start of the year, where it was, there's no doubt about it, it was terrible, has been fairly good. We've definitely been the second best car second half of the season, I'd say. But as we see sort of everything here for the track information, I just think if we can get through this season, then definitely moving forward, that, I've learned a lot this season, and it's partly down to you guys sort of coaching me in the comments as well. I do think that that will be absolutely fine from here. Now, looking at this preferred strategy, the two-stop is the preferred, but equally, the hard tyre is not that much slower and degrades at, a fairly decent rate, meaning that it doesn't degrade. That it might, the hard tyre may not be the worst tyre. It might just come down to, we'll see what we have when we get there. Alonso won here last year. Mercedes tend to do well here in the past. And, let's go and see our performance targets. Reach Q3, you'd certainly like to hope so. Now, again, reminder, it is a sprint weekend, so I've got to get my act together here and not babble on for too long. And I think we are expecting rain on the Saturday for the sprint race as well. Light rain on the Saturday. Well, let's hope that's for... I mean, imagine a sprint race if you have to make a light rain pit stop. It could... Oh, that's going to be... Why is it... This game stresses me out, dude. Alright, I'll go and do free practice and I'll see you for qualifying. Alright, so FP1 is done. You will notice some penalties. You also notice the AlphaTauris, both of them up there. Have they bought a late season upgrade, I wonder? Now, where were we with old engine parts? Mick was 11th and Giovinazzi 19th, both on a hard tyre. Not too much to worry about there, I wouldn't have thought. We didn't quite nail a setup for sure, but I'm still confident Q1 will be no problem. We'll put in the better engine parts and we'll confirm Q1 in a second. So, a strange qualifying, not for us. One run, 6.7's absolutely fine. Russell was right up there, the Aston Martins and the Mercedes again, but Lando Norris is proving annoying. Both AlphaTauris again, but taking penalties. But look at this, Perez is out. And Max Verstappen was only 9th, so the Red Bulls are having an off race. So, we'll see where we go from Q2 here. Alright, we are coming around for our second run here. Now, look at the gaps. There's absolutely nothing between the top 6 or 7. Ricciardo has popped himself in there as well. Now, Giovinazzi is currently out. Now, he has got, with both cars, have a fresh set of tyres on, so there should be pace just naturally because of that. Hopefully we're not going to get held up. There's 2 cars up here that we might catch. It looks like a McLaren and an Aston Martin. They could just kindly get out of the way. Both cars have done a green sector in the first sector. There's an Aston Martin out of the way. Giovinazzi has not gone quick up. He is going to need to go quicker in this final sector or he is going to be out. in Q2, and he is out in Q2. What are you doing, Gio? You absolutely kill me sometimes. Mick is through, though. So there we go. Giovinazzi starts the sprint in 13th. Now, he might move up with penalties, but he's gone slower in the second run. If he'd done his Q1 time, he would have got through. So, he just is frustrating, isn't he? Alright, now one thing that went unnoticed as I was in my rage of Giovinazzi there is that Verstappen didn't get through. Mick is currently second after a run on used tyres. Now, I don't know what sort of tyres everybody else was using in terms of wear. And Mick has not gone fast up in that first sector. But we've split the Mercedes. We are second right now. And we've got a bit of traffic getting out of the way here. Please and thank you. Can't see what sort of car it is. But anyway, doesn't look like it's a great lap from Mick. So we're currently behind both Mercedes. And now Leclerc as well. What's happened to the AlphaTauri? As Mick stays fourth, but will he actually stay fourth now? Or is somebody else going to better his time, I wonder? So he does... Stroll beat his time. So he is fifth, but Leclerc, Russell both have penalties, so he's going to move up to third, which is a good place to start the sprint race from. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. Alright, here we go with the sprint race. Now, a correction, the penalties apply to the Grand Prix itself, not the sprint race. So we're not actually, we're starting 5th with Mick and we're 13th with Giovinazzi in this one. But the penalties will apply, so potentially if we hold position here and whatnot, then we'll be doing better. Now, I wonder if George Russell started on a hard tyre again here. No, but Leclerc has, which is interesting. That should actually mean Mick should be getting ahead of him. Looks like he has. So... yeah, is that another hard tyre in front of us there in the Red Bull? Yeah, so Verstappen's on a hard tyre as well. I kind of forgot to save a hard, because, again, it wouldn't surprise me if it's the better tyre for the whole race. You can see there, we will get there on the medium, but we'll be limited in how much we can push. But yeah, let's just see how we go here. If we can sort of hold position, then that's fine. I really am keen to get a good result in the actual Grand Prix itself, with the board being here as well. Because, like I say, the fact that we've got the confidence back up to medium, which is where I think it deserves to be. Because we could justifiably have a go into a board meeting. It's a nice overtake if Mick can make that one stick, and say, look, yes, we stuffed up the start of the season, but look at the progress we've made. We've learnt lessons, and now we will be better next season. But yeah, unfortunately, you don't actually get to go and do that. But I'm pretty sure I could talk myself into keeping the job if I was to ever get that opportunity. But let's see how this sprint race develops. It's 24 laps, which is a fair whack for a sprint race, but equally, it's only a short lap. Alright, so an interesting race we've got here, because the front four are more or less together, although Mick is just... I'm trying to harvest battery and keep him in that battle as well. But Giovinazzi, from science back, it's just a massive train. Now, we're not expecting any rain for the race. There was a bit of rain in free practice. That apparently was it. So what I'm kind of torn what we do here, in that, do we try and cut our way through this, or do we perhaps let them do their thing and just keep saving up tyre life and then really have a go at the end? We do kind of need to start to make our way through, though, I think. But it is tough being in a DRS train as to exactly the best method to do, to get through here. What we don't want to do, of course, is get ourselves caught up in somebody else's accident and yeah, and end up being ruled out. Okay, so because we don't want to go to the back, obviously, for the Grand Prix. I'd rather start 12th than 19th, and Perez and Albon had a crash just behind us, which is why they're back where they are as well. Can we get a move done on Max there? Not quite. We are deploying at this point, though, and Max and his hard tyres. I dare say Red Bull have got engines that have seen better days, and that's perhaps why they find themselves battling a little bit further down than a lot further down than they would be expecting to be. Can Giovinazzi get that done? That could be up into the top 10. We've got a little bit of work to do on the outside here. If we can make it stick, please, and thank you. Mick's DRS is now fully charged, so we'll keep sitting him where he is and let the others run each other ragged. But we have got some moves done there with Giovinazzi. He's up to 10th, so this is going not too badly. Alright, now we are sending Giovinazzi on the attack. We're using the tyres, we're deploying. and we're going to try and cut our way through this this train here. You can see it goes all the way up to Leclerc and Sainz, who are battling at the front of it. Whether or not we're going to have the ultimate pace to be able to do anything, these cars are obviously all quick, and they're all battling each other as well. So, yeah, I fear a little bit that we're just maybe stuck with him. And another yellow flag. It's nothing to do with us. Mick is still in a very, very good spot. All we're doing is we're just keeping everything going, saving up a little bit of tyre life compared to those in front of us. And then with a few laps to go, actually, we're probably getting to the point now where we might just want to try and just close up on the back of them and go for the win here. But we'll come back in a lap or two's time. And this is a cracking race. It'd be a great sprint race to watch. Bit of an awkward one to try and manage, though, I've got to say. Alright, here we go with Mick. He's moved one Mercedes out of the way. Can we go and get the second one out of the way? It looks like we can, or can we? No, a little bit of DRS there, perhaps, to assist Hamilton. And, yeah, now Russell is behind us now. Of course, he has got a penalty coming up, so we're going to be ahead of him to start the race anyway. But obviously, if we can take the extra points, then that would be very nice. And we're going to come across the line here to start the last lap with Mick in second position. Or is he going to fall a little bit behind Stroll? Maybe he'll be just behind Stroll. But we can go full send with both cars here, actually. Let's deploy. Let's get it back up to double speed so it feels like we're actually moving. And let's see what we can do here. Giovinazzi can go and deploy as well. We should have Stroll now. We've got the inside line for this. Can we go and put a move on Lewis Hamilton to win the sprint race? That is the big question. Giovinazzi is still in 10th. So that might be as good as he can manage. But here we go down the straight. It looks like Hamilton has got just about enough. We're out of battery. So Hamilton will win the sprint. Mick will be second. Giovinazzi, can he do anything? It doesn't look like he can. He will be starting the Grand Prix. Well, 10 less penalties, and 3 in front of him have got penalties. So, well, cracking sprint race. If the main thing's anything like that, I'm going to age considerably. So, of course, there is hopefully going to be a good board response to getting second in that race as well. Only half a second off the win. Look at that. Giovinazzi moved up 3. Not bad from him. So let's go and do the main thing now. Alright, now our strategy here. We could do soft, medium, soft, which is probably ambitious. A one-stop looks ambitious. To me, now I did say, didn't I, the hard tyre didn't look a terrible tyre. So what's stopping us from doing soft, hard, soft? Is there anything stopping us from doing soft, hard, soft? We want to go a little bit further there, potentially. To me, that looks a decent-ish strategy. It saves us then. We've still got some mediums, don't we, if we want to. We've got loads of softs because we went nowhere in qualifying. We've got 2 mediums, a hard tyre. So if there's a safety car, we've got options. And I don't see why that wouldn't work with Mick as well. So I think that's what we'll do with both cars. And hopefully it'll be a race-winning or job-saving even strategy. Alright, so Mick, look at that, starts on the front row. We've got Giovinazzi up there. I think he started at 8 when penalties were applied. And look at that, Williams with Danny Rick is right up there as well. So it's a cracking grid, isn't it, for the race? Let's have a look at tyres. There's a hard tyre there for Leclerc. There's some yellow flags, which hopefully doesn't involve us. I don't see any flashing warnings. So I think we're okay with that one. And there's not many soft tyre runners. So that would suggest maybe either medium, medium, hard, or one stops. Now, if they're one stopping, I think we're going to be looking pretty good on a soft tyre at the end. Hulkenberg gets his second penalty of the race. But yeah, let's see where we go from here. Looks as though Mick has lost out to Stroll off the line. But, again, not the end of the world. We can't push this tyre too much. In fact, we might just drop it off there a little bit. We've got no pressure behind us with Danny Rick in 4th. And again, Giovinazzi, we will just back it off a little bit there and make sure that we are going to get some sort of distance into the race on this tyre. So, 71 laps. It's a long one in terms of number of laps, but as I said in the sprint, it is a short lap. Only, what, about a minute 14, I think, a minute 13. So, yeah, we'll see how we get on here, as Stroll again does the fastest lap. And with DRS enabled, yeah, we'll try and bide our time and get some conservation maybe done early on here. Oh, and we have a virtual safety car.
It looks like quite a big accident.
Alonso has crashed. Now, Alonso was just in front of Giovinazzi. So what happened there? Did he just spear? I wasn't paying attention clearly because I was literally on board with Giovinazzi, and he must have just, did he just lock up? Yeah, he just, very un-Fernando like that one. Alright, so virtual safety car is ending. We did get pretty much all our fuel conservation done there as well, which is good. Now, Alonso going out is obviously a very good thing in terms of the championship, isn't it? Stroll is currently up there and, battling for the lead, so that wouldn't be great. But if they're only going to score with one car, we've seen before, if we can then get two cars, as it looks like Giovinazzi has just lost out, if we can get two cars in good point scoring positions, then that's going to help us. I think that goes without saying, doesn't it? So, yeah, we'll see what we can do. Mick's under a little bit of pressure here, so we might need to deploy him and try and get him away from Danny Rick. But yeah, let's go from here now. All right, well, Daniel Ricciardo just locked up, which I've got to say, terribly disappointed by when that happened. I do love me a Danny Rick. But anyway, so we are fifth with Giovinazzi now. Mick is up there battling away for the lead. And Russell is sort of, it's a lead quartet with Giovinazzi now trying to catch it to make it a lead quintuple. Is that 5? I think quintuple's 5. Anyway, so that's obviously good. Giovinazzi in the middle of a good recovery drive so far. He's bringing Norris and Verstappen with him though, which is perhaps slightly concerning. And Perez isn't a mile away either, so it could be a 7-8. Yeah, probably no more than 8-car battle for the lead if Giovinazzi can close this gap down. But yeah, it's a good race. So there's there we go on the outside there with Norris, but we should have maybe DRS if he was ahead of us. No, he's going to have DRS. So we might be in trouble here. But yeah, anyway, it's going well. It's going well, both in terms of a spectacle in general, but also for us. Alright, we are in our pit windows. In fact, Mick is coming in this lap. Giovinazzi next lap. They're just a little bit too close. If we look at Giovinazzi here, to bring them in and double stack them, we'd risk holding up Giovinazzi. So what I did is we've made Giovinazzi's tyres basically last an extra lap. Now Mick has been harvesting as well. He's been sort of stuck and not able to get past the two in front. So let's see, do we get a good stop out of us? We could really use one. It's bit of an old school Ferrari stop, but that's okay. Let's see where Mick is going to come out here. Now we're on a hard tyre, and we do have a little bit of clean air, it looks like. So that is all good. We won't deploy, but we don't need to push anymore, harvest anymore. All right, and here we go now with Giovinazzi. Let's see what sort of stop we get for him. Is he going to come out in front of Mick? You wouldn't have thought so, but it is a better stop. 2.8, 2.9 seconds, essentially. And Mick is coming around. Mick is ahead of us. And there is Mick right there. So we should be able to work together here a little bit as well, actually. So that's not terrible. And, yeah. Let's see, Hamilton's tyres can't have too much longer to go. In fact, he is in this lap. And we'll get an idea then of roughly where we stack up. Now, what sort of lap times have we been doing here is the big question, I suppose. Is this a proper out lap for Mick? I want to get lap times. We're going to see where Hamilton comes out here anyway, aren't we? He is in front of us by some way. So we did a 12 with Mick, which is not really good enough, is it? So, what tyre did Hamilton come out on? Medium. So he's gone soft, medium. So he's going to do soft, medium, soft. Was that strategy? I can't even remember what the strategy was now. Anyway, pit stops looks like they're going to start. We need to get through some traffic, and hopefully we can do it fairly quickly. Alright, now there's been pit stops. We have cut our way through the traffic to a point, but unfortunately for us, Perez has also cut his way through the traffic and is now ahead of us. And is flying. Now, he's on a medium tyre, so whether Russell's on a soft as well, so I don't know how this is going to quite shake out. But, I mean, we just don't have the pace of them, as we're ahead of Stroll, though. Both cars are ahead of Stroll, so that's something. We've got a yellow flag. What we don't need now is a safety car. It doesn't look like it's going to be, as Piastri's had a spin. So, of the cars that are out here, we're waiting on Norris and Leclerc for a stop, so that moves us up to 4th and 5th. As Norris comes in now. It looks like Stroll is possibly going to the end, so no more stops for him. But yeah, other than that, everybody else, I would dare say, is going to owe us a stop. So, yeah, we'll see how we go from there. Oh, even though we're harvesting, we're going to get an overtake done on Mick, are we? Doesn't look great for you, Mick, that one, I've got to say. Oh, we're pushing the tyres. I probably shouldn't be pushing the tyres if I don't want to overtake. Alright. Alright, I think we're going to have a small change of strategy here, and we're going to look to go into we're going to push these hard tyres as hard as we can, and then we're going to look to go into a medium. Just trying to eke it out. I just think we're losing a little bit too much time to the guys around us. So, yeah, we'll just push them as hard as we can, and then when the time comes, we'll come in and we'll put on a soft. So Gio's in 4th, Mick is in 6th. Stroll got past him on newer hard tyres, but they're going to the end, so he's going to be struggling at the end. So I'm fairly confident we'll be able to get him back. But yeah, we'll just see. Verstappen is behind us. Now, is he going to the end? In all likelihood, yes, as is Norris. So both Mercedes and Perez will owe us a stop. So yeah, the podium is maybe looking like it's not going to quite work out. But if we could get 4th and 5th, maybe that's a good thing for us. But we'll see. We'll just we'll go as hard as we can now to the end. Alright, we are coming in with Mick this lap and then with Giovinazzi next lap. So we will try and obviously just get on the quicker tyre as early as we can. We've pretty much used up those hard tyres anyway. So let's get an idea of where we're going to come back out. Mick was a few seconds behind Giovinazzi. So it looks like both Mercedes have got past us, which is probably to be expected. Can we get out ahead of Leclerc? Now Leclerc is one stopping. It'd be nice to not have to deal with him. It looks like we can. And it looks like we should be able to push a medium tyre fairly hard. I'm going to try and... here we go here now, coming into the pits with Giovinazzi. I'll just put it back to just standard use so we can get an idea of roughly... Oh, Perez has stopped. And have we jumped Perez? Oh, wrong one. No, we haven't jumped Perez. Okay, so where have we come out there? 9th and 10th. And, okay, so we can push that tyre fairly hard to the end. So that's good to know. So Giovinazzi was ahead of Mick, so it makes sense that he is still ahead of Mick, obviously. We need to get these guys overtaken and, yeah, get ourselves moving on up the road as quickly as possible here. We are going to have, with the Science is coming into the pits, with the exception of the Mercedes, we have better tyres than everybody. Oh, and Perez as well. Come on, man, your lap car's now the way. So, yeah, we are in a fairly decent position. Obviously, we need to... What we might try and do is... I wonder if we could nick a fastest lap here as well. While we're at this. We're on board with Mick, aren't we? So let's get on board with Giovinazzi. We'll charge him up and hopefully be able to get enough for a lap. Which pretty much starts here, doesn't it? So we might be pushing this to try and get a fastest lap out of him. But we'll try. And see if we have enough battery. There'll be touch and go. But we'll try and see what Sector 1 looks like. It's only green. So that's maybe a little bit not quite going for us. The gap to Perez is 9 seconds. we're going to get mostly underway there, aren't we? So we'll see. He did do a purple middle sector. Perez has done a fastest lap of a 1:08, and we have fallen significantly short of that. So that's okay, though. That's okay. We will keep going here, and we will see how high up we can capture him. I mean, look at that. We're second to lap faster. Yes, that was. I mean, Mick wasn't pushing that hard. So yeah, we're second to lap faster than these guys in front. Fourth and fifth is probably the best we could look at, though, unfortunately. All right, so Giovinazzi is caught up to the Verstappen and Norris battle. So we need to try and clear this as quickly as possible. Mick is not a million miles behind it himself. What I've been trying to do is catch them at a decent enough rate so that we could cool the tyres off a little bit. There's no point, you know, burning up tyres. We were going to catch them. Just trying to make sure we can get this done as quickly as possible. So there's one with a little bit of DRS and battery. That should be Verstappen for 2. And that is us up into 5th. Now we're going to try and run down Giovinazzi with... Stroll with Giovinazzi. And again, we've got to if we just cool off Mick's tyres here a little bit. They're sitting ducks, basically. So there's no need to do anything too silly here. And then we will hopefully deploy and get them both down the straight. Although Verstappen is a little bit further away, which is not ideal. But again, we're going to have Norris for breakfast. Send it in there a little bit deeper, maybe. And is Verstappen going to happen this lap? Maybe Verstappen isn't happening this lap. But we're right there. No need to do anything silly. And yeah, we've got 7 seconds for Giovinazzi to catch, and he's catching at 10 laps to go. He's catching at 2 seconds a lap. That's not going to be a problem. And then Mick should be chasing him down fairly soon here, because I imagine Verstappen again, sitting duck. Wrong tyre, old tyre. And we've got a bit of DRS and battery power as well. So there we go. That should be more or less job done there. So we're 5th and 6th. Now we've got to try and go and get Stroll. Alright, we are coming across for 3 laps to go. We are just a smidge outside the DRS of Lance Stroll with Giovinazzi. Mick is just a little bit further back. Giovinazzi is going to get him. I have slightly more concerns about Mick, if I'm honest. But it should be okay. I think he's got just about enough. Yeah, so it should be okay. But this is going to be Giovinazzi getting Stroll, and then he should be able to just drive off into the distance. The problem with Mick is that his tyres are just that little bit older as well, which obviously doesn't help things. But we'll deploy out of this corner, and then that should be us past Stroll without too many problems. I would have thought and hoped and prayed, and there we go. So that's that. So we can now turn our attentions back to Mick. And you can see they're just there. They're not a million miles away, but there is only 2 laps to go. So it is slightly concerning. Actually, we're on to the last lap. So we will keep pushing. I'm not sure that Mick is actually going to get him. We'll deploy down here because we need to keep Giovinazzi in front, which we've done. And then we'll go back here to Mick, and I'm not sure Mick... Oh, he's getting a bit held up by traffic. Now, if this Haas can get out of our way, is there still half a chance? Out of the way. There might just be half a chance. We don't have any battery left, which is going to be the killer. So, Perez, Hamilton, and Russell, or Russell and Hamilton are the top 3. It's going to be Giovinazzi coming in 4th, and Mick is going to fall about a second short of getting Stroll for 5th. But 4th and 6th, that's a good day in the championship over Aston Martin. Hopefully, the board enjoyed that as well. We'll check in a second. So, Gio up 4, Mick down 4, which is obviously a little bit disappointing, but I don't know that there's too much else we could have. The 2 stops seemed to be the way to go, didn't it? So that's good. Perez had an absolute blinder. So the drivers, they've stayed where they are, 7th and 8th. They've been there pretty much all season, haven't they? And the constructors, we've pulled back some more good points on Aston Martin. It's not enough, though, is it? That's the sad thing. I don't think we're actually going to be able to catch them, but we've been the 3rd best team there, plus the 7 or so points we've got in the sprint. Is that enough for the board? Satisfied. So we'll take that. Board confidence is still medium. That's starting to look like we're going to be here next season, isn't it? So that's excellent. Next up, it is Vegas. Now, of course, Vegas last year, the 1-2, and it was a cracking race as well. So I look forward to that one. Hopefully you do as well. And yeah, we've got potentially 2 races to go in the series, but I think we're okay. As long as we keep putting in decent results, I think the board is going to be okay and hang us onto us for another year. So until then, guys, I've been Aussie, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.